Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for some more ROLIMON'S drama. So of course, everyone who has been trading lately, you guys know about the entire hype wave of items. Items that have been getting seemingly massive overpays overnight for, no apparent reason. And this has a lot to do, not everything, but a lot to do with these items having values in ROLIMON'S.com. Now, I don't know what the title of the video is gonna be yet, but if I have to answer the question of why items are no longer being valued, it is because these items just end up becoming way too good once they become valued, but I'm gonna get back to that in a while. Now, the topic of today's video is ROLIMON'S hypocrisy when valuing or devaluing items. I'm gonna show you right now. Today, August 4th, they devalued an item called Azureath, Lord of Destruction, with the following explanation. This item was originally valued for performing poorly. Now that it is performing well, the value has been removed. It will not be retaining its value at this time, as the team believes this particular item, if it was not already valued for being bad, would not be in a position to contend for value compared to other items. I personally do not think that was valid, and I will explain to you right now. So a while ago, around like 1.5 years ago, ROLIMON'S was valuing items that were doing extremely poorly in relation to their recent average price. So if an item had, I don't know, let's say a 70,000 recent average price and it was lowballing 30,000, they would value it at like 40,000, 45,000, so it would kind of, like reflect on what the item actually gets. Some examples include like the zombie Doge, with the explanation being Zoge has been lowballing for some time, showing the value would more accurately depict what it gets traded for. Now, I'm not gonna mention the explanation for every single one of these because all of these kind of follow the same, explanation. All of these items like the Pinhead, Doge Santa, Ruby Eye, Azureath, Lord of Destruction, the Carly's Winter Crown, Festive Periastron, Rock and Roll Necktie, Striped Perfection, Smart Chocolate Cap, Demon Trucker, Spec Zeta Biographed, and Spec Biographed Gamma. All of these items were valued because they were doing very, very poorly around 1 year, a little bit over a year ago. Now, the thing about every single one of these items that I just mentioned is that all of these lost their valuation. So every single item that I mentioned, you can search on ROLIMON'S.com, you're gonna see that all of them have no value on the website anymore because they started doing well in relation to their value. So they were just devalued and they just let the rep decide their value, you know what I mean? So okay, just because of the reason that these items were valued in the first place, it may seem like it was fair for these items to be devalued, but I'm gonna show you right now why it was extremely unfair for all of these items to be devalued. What I'm about to show you guys is a collection of items that were valued for this exact same purpose because the items were doing bad with their current recent average price. However, every single one of these items that I am about to mention, they never lost their value. Some of these items, they are not limited to, I'm just putting a regular sample size just so you can understand what I mean, include Classical Glory, Blink Face, Red Starstone of the Federation, Emerald Starstone of the Federation, Sapphire Starstone of the Federation, Full Hammer, Tasteless Top Hat, Chaplain, Lava Reactor, 4-string Roblocaster, Green Laurel Wrath, Classic Hat Stack, Emerald Archfey Face, Scrap Metal Cap. So all of these items were valued for this exact same purpose. All of these items were doing bad compared to the recent average prices, so they got a value to reflect on what they were actually getting. But the thing with every single one of these items is that they were never devalued. These items never actually lost their value. How come? Why did these items never lose their value? Now, before we actually keep on going with this video, I'm not saying that you guys should devalue all of these items. I'm telling you guys that you should revalue all of the items that I mentioned. You either revalue all of those items or you guys devalue all of those items that I just mentioned, because then it is gonna be fair. But as is right now, the ROLIMON'S value changing team has been extremely inconsistent with these valuations and devaluations. And there is genuinely no argument as to why some of these actually managed to retain their value, like the Classical Glory. This item is is not a demand item. The bling face, the starstones of the Federation, none of these items are demand items. Most of these are actual semi-rare items, like most of those that actually got devalued. You cannot tell me that Chaplin, Tasteless Top Hat, even the Lava Reactor, why are these items still valued and some, like, I don't know, the Smart Chocolate Cap were devalued? This is a very big double standard that I'm seeing right now. Now, during my research for this video, I noticed that a few items, they got valued because they were being targets of LPPs. In case you guys do not know what LPP means, it means lowest price possible, where someone picks an item, sells it for 1 Robux, and they repeat it until the recent average price of that item ends up being 1. Due to recent LPP attacks on numerous items, we have made the decision to give some of them values to represent what they commonly go for. Although this is a work in progress, we will be looking at any future item in a case-by-case basis to determine the best decision at the time. For now, these are the impacted items. So you can take a look at the full list if you'd like to. I'm not gonna mention every single one of these items because they are a completely different case. But between these items, there was one specific item that particularly stood out. The Midsummer Hood, which ended up getting a value of 22,000 because of these lowest price possible attacks. The Midsummer Hood was the only item to retain its value after this entire lowest price possible wave of attacks stopped. So this, out of this entire list, that was the only item that managed to retain its value. Why? That is beyond me, but we're gonna get to the most, like, absurd point in a while. As you guys can see, Midsummer was dropping relentlessly, going from 28 to 26,000, then 26 to 24, and then 24 to 22, before being devalued in October 14th, 2023. With the explanation being, after being valued because of lowest price possibles and performing well, Midsummer fell back to where it started off and continued to do poorly, leading to a devaluation, which seems like the fair thing to do. You know, it did well, but then it did bad, and then it got devalued, and it should have stayed that way if value changers wanted to be consistent. It should have stayed as a rep item. And then, as active traders already know, this item ended up getting revalued very recently, like last month or 2 months ago, with the explanation being, after some discussion, we felt this was originally unfairly devalued in the past, and with its recent and consistent performance for quite some time, we felt it has been fair to give it another shot at a value again. So why is the festive Periastron? Why is the joyful Periastron? Why are Specs, Spec Gamma and Spec Zeta, why are these items not valued? Because they have been doing very solid for the last like 3 to 4 months. Why have these items not been revalued? Midsummers should have never been valued in the first place. It was valued because of lowest price possible attacks, and then you guys, for some reason that I genuinely cannot put inside of my mind, you guys decided to give it another shot. But why? Like, why? What was the purpose of revaluing this item? If you guys want to revalue items, I am all for it, bro. This just feels, and I'm sorry for saying this, but this just feels like bias towards some items. Positive, negative bias, whatever, towards all of these items. Why was Midsummer revalued when there was this entire hype season happening, but then items like the Specs and the Periastrons, and I don't know, Emerald Laser Vision or Sapphire Laser Vision, why are these items not being given a shot? Or just all of these other items that, you know, were devalued, they should have never lost their value. There was no reason for an item like the Emerald Archfey Face to keep its value because it was never a demand item, it was never a desired item. So why were these items in specific allowed to maintain their value while some other items were just devalued? All of these valued items that I showed you guys are currently doing better than the recent average price. So why are you guys not devaluing them? This seems like a very big double standard. There's genuinely no excuse as to why you guys kept all of these items valued. And once again, I feel like I must reiterate, I do not want any of these items devalued. I want all of these other items revalued because this is what they actually deserve. So you guys have got to pick a side. You guys either revalue all of these items or you devalue all of these items, because otherwise it would be extraordinarily unfair to keep some of these valued and some others devalued for no particular reason at all. In special, items like the spec gamma and the spec zeta, they have actually proven to have some very big demand. So why are you guys not valuing items that actually have demand, but you guys are valuing all of these items that have no demand and they actually just fed into hype season? This is what I've been saying for my last few videos, bro. Just please value every single one of these items again together at all of the same time. Do not do that on intervals, because then you guys are going to be feeding into all of this fake hype season. If you guys do it all at the same time, everything is going to be okay. So for the love of God, just try and take my feedback, because this is not only my personal feedback, this is feedback from a lot of other people from the entire trading community. So yeah, you know, I just believe that this is very big hypocrisy, because you guys say that you are no longer valuing any of these items because, oh, when an item gets valued, it ends up being good. If we're following that principle, then let's just remove value from ROLIMON'S. Let's turn ROLIMON'S into no longer a values website. And that was pretty much the video for today, guys. Thank you so much for every single member of the YouTube channel. You guys have been helping me immensely. Thank you guys so much for 4,000 subscribers as well. You guys are absolutely amazing. Please like and subscribe in case you guys like this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.